Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. So the other night I was watching an interview with Mickey Rourke, and if you're over the age of 40, then you'll definitely know who this actor is. I was born in a generation that's maybe a little bit too late to really appreciate his movies and his acting skills growing up. But years later, I did go back and watch his big hit films like 9.5 Weeks. My first time seeing one of his movies was watching The Wrestler in 2008, somewhat reluctantly because I still had no idea who he was and the plot sounded kind of boring. But the movie, when I finished watching it, I thought to myself, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I was really impressed with how well he played that role, that main character. It's like he was made for that role, and a lot of the troubles and disappointments in his life, they came through his acting for that character. Now, at the peak of his career, Mickey Rourke was the major draw card in Hollywood. Every producer wanted to cast him. People were calling him the next Marlon Brando. He had it all: the looks, the talent, the charisma, the whole package. And like he said in the interview, he couldn't walk into a restaurant or a bar and even pay for himself. Everyone wanted to treat him and the money was rolling in. But then things started to go wrong. He pissed off some of the wrong people in Hollywood, and these were very powerful people, and he developed a reputation for being extremely difficult to work with. And soon he wasn't getting offered great roles in major films anymore, and his career went downhill very fast. So feeling lost and bitter about the movie business, he went back to his first love, which was boxing. Now, becoming a professional boxer in your mid-30s is not such a great idea. Time was not on his side. So he took a lot of damage to his chiseled, made-for-Hollywood face, and then the plastic surgery began. And often his before and after photos would be shown in the plastic surgery gone wrong section of gossip magazines. Years went by and he couldn't get any work. And then The Wrestler came along and he got an opportunity to play that part, and he was able to revive his career. Since then, he's had a few major roles, such as the villain in one of the Iron Mans and a few others. But the reason why I'm sharing all of this with you and talking about this actor is because Mickey Rourke started from nothing. He literally had nothing, and he had to build his way up to having this career. At one point, he was basically going without food to pay for acting lessons, and he was able to build up momentum and create this incredible career in his 20s and into his 30s. He literally had the world at his feet. He had serious momentum. Now, getting momentum like that in your career or any field, any career, it can be really difficult, especially in the early days. And once you have that momentum, then that's what I want to talk to you about in today's episode. Not losing it, because it can be really hard to get back. What a lot of people don't realize about momentum is it can be really fragile. And when you do have it, whether it's in your health, let's say you've been going to the gym and you're going every single day and everything's going right, you're finally getting into shape, you've got momentum. Or it could be in your career, you get promoted, everything's falling into place, promotion after promotion, you're getting pay rises, you're getting more prestige, you've got that elusive momentum behind you. When you do have it, I want you to remember this lesson from the billionaire Charlie Munger, and that lesson is always invert. Now, I made a previous episode about this, but it applies here as well. But he talks about this lesson of always invert, always asking yourself the question, what could go wrong, and then avoiding making those mistakes. Now, I know that sounds really obvious, but when you've got momentum behind you and everything's going really well, often that's the last thing on your mind. When you've got momentum, usually you're thinking about, okay, this is great. How do I now get to the next level? And you should keep on thinking that. I'm not saying don't stop taking risk. I'm not saying don't aspire to reach even newer heights. What I am saying is when you've got momentum behind you, always ask yourself that question, what could I do wrong to screw this up? And when you're always asking yourself that question, it's going to keep you from getting derailed. So for example, Mickey Rourke, when he was in his, I believe it was his young 30s, that's when his career started to come off the rails and he couldn't get cast anymore. He did things wrong that he will admit in this interview, and I'll put a link below this video so you can go and watch the interview, but he did things that if he could go back in time, now that he's got some more experience, he says he would not do. For example, getting on the wrong side of some very powerful people in Hollywood who were choosing him and featuring him in their major films. That was a move that he should not have done. Being extremely difficult to work with. That was something that he definitely could have worked on. And if he had just avoided making those mistakes, then who knows what would have happened in his career. He could have gone on to be incredibly successful, far more than he was, for decades to come. Think someone like Al Pacino, who decade after decade, he's maintained this incredible career. Mickey Rourke could have done the same, but he made those mistakes. So to wrap this up, if you've got momentum, just remember that point. Always invert, okay? Always think about what could you do wrong to mess this up and avoid making those mistakes. Now, getting momentum, that can be the hard part. And I've found that one of the very best things you can do is you can shock your system by doing a short-term sprint and doing something with intensity where it gets that momentum going. Let me explain. You've seen that I do these 10-day challenges, and I'm always promoting to do these 10-day challenges in this video, but that's because they work. Basically, you pick 2 or 3 areas of your life that you want to see dramatic improvement in the next 10 days. Could be your health, relationships, career, whatever's important to you. Okay, so you pick these 2 or 3 goals, and then you work out, what are my daily action steps? What action steps where if I was disciplined enough to do them for 10 days, and I did them every single day, I would be able to see results by the end of the 10th day. And then you commit to doing these action steps every single day. And you have an accountability partner. This is someone who's going to check in with you every single day, making sure you're doing those action steps. So for example, recently I did one, and one of my action steps was 8 rounds of boxing in the gym every single day, no matter what, always doing my workout every day, no excuses. Getting up 6 a.m. in the morning every single day for 10 days. So I had several goals like that, and I do them for 10 days. And what I found is, for me, that starts that momentum going. And by the end of the 10th day, now that momentum can keep on going, and I can start to see some incredible results. The same thing can happen for you. Now, if you'd like to take part in one of these 10-day challenges, all you got to do is go to changeyourlifein10days.com and enroll. Do it right now. It's completely free. There's no good reason why you shouldn't do it, but there's plenty of good reasons why you should. It's going to help you in your life. And I hope you get some value out of this episode. And that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow.